A very warm welcome, everyone. Personal Growth Leaders, meeting number 16. And today is United Nations World Family Day. It's quite an interesting day that United Nations thought of having. And it's quite an important aspect, I think. I had sent a question to all the role holders and the speakers yesterday. There was two questions that I sent. One was, how does a good family environment help in making the world a better place? That was the first question. And the second question was, how can we actually make this personal growth leaders a family rather than just another club? So regarding the first point, the first question that I asked about how a good environment in the family makes the world a better place, there is no doubt that it makes the world a better place. What is the reason? If someone is brought up in a family which is dysfunctional, what do I mean by a dysfunctional family? I mean that the kids growing in that family, their parents are not loving each other. They are not loving their kids. If those basic necessities are not available in a family, then what will happen to the kids? They will become dysfunctional kids, unfortunately, because they don't get love in the family. When they go out in the society, they won't give love to anyone. And then, so therefore, it's so important. I think it's so important to acknowledge how wonderful it is that we all have these families which give us love, which give us affection, who care for us. Like I saw a news recently here in Ireland about a group of youngsters who were in a railway station and they were misbehaving with a lady. And the lady actually fell down, you know, the railway track. They were misbehaving in such a way, they were doing a lot of taunts and she slipped and she fell into the railway track. So what they said in the news was, and these kids were, one was 13-year-old and another was 16-year-old. Just imagine, they are just teenagers and they're doing these unfortunate things, which is causing harm in the society. So when I saw that news, I really could understand the importance of World Family Day. I think it's really an important day to acknowledge that family is such an important part of making the whole world a better place, actually. Because family is a unit in society, and every unit together makes a whole society. The society makes the state makes the nation makes the world. So how important it is. We just can't, there is no words to describe the importance of family. It's just unimaginable. So with that in mind and being grateful, I think it's very important that we all are grateful that we have these families which give us affection, love, care, and everything else. I wanted to kind of convey this message today. And just another thought was in terms of how we can, we are all individuals across the globe and we have formed this club, but how can we make our association more stronger? The relationship between us, how can we make it more stronger so that instead of just having an official kind of club meeting, how we can make it more like actual family kind of vibe, what can we do? I think it's a good food for thought. If you want to think about it, what can we do in that direction? So with these thoughts, I would like to start the meeting. And as we are the advanced club here, we don't introduce all the roles. We only introduce the grammarian. And today we have BTM Lee Buckley, who is doing the role of grammarian, and I would like her to give us the word of the day, afternoon, evening, night. Please, thank you. Over to you, Lee.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, DTM Somesh. Hello, everyone. Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on which part of the world you're in. The word of the day for today's meeting is benevolent. It's an adjective. The first meaning means well-meaning or kindly. For example, he was benevolent in serving the community. The other meaning of benevolent is in the context of an organization serving a charitable rather than a profit making purpose. For example, the company set up a benevolent fund for the bushfire victims. I would encourage everyone to take note and make use of the word of the day. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, Somesh.
Thank you very much, TTM Lee, for giving us the word of the day. And you actually show benevolence in your personality by being with us at this hour in Australia. So thank you so much for being so benevolent. And I actually wanted to ask this question to you. I think I'd sent it yesterday. What are your thoughts on that? I want to ask to every role holder and every speaker, what are your thoughts in terms of the World Family Day and making this club as a family? Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, TMD. I have already felt that this club was a family from day one because we all got together. It doesn't matter where in the world we are, we got together, we had a purpose in mind, and we worked together as a family. We supported each other. For example, when there was contests for Sabaria or for Kathy, it was 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, but doesn't matter. We were there to support each other, and that's what family is for, you know, for to be there for each other. And I think being a World Family Day, it just serves as a reminder of who we are. And as what you mentioned, the family makes the community, the community makes the state makes the world. So we're here for each other. Yeah, doesn't matter where and what time in the world. Over to you, Mr. TMD.
Thank you so much. So eloquently put, Lee. Thank you so much. So eloquently put. Thank you so much. There was some echo that came. Okay, we go to the next part. As we all know, we have three parts in the meeting. The first part is a prepared speech. The second part is an impromptu speech. And the third part is an evaluation speech. So we are all about speeches here and communicating our thoughts with each other. In terms of that, we'll go to the first speech of today, which will be given by John Khalid Brigden, entitled Me from Presentation Mastery Level 1, Speech 1, which is an icebreaker speech. And the evaluation of that speech will be done by Ruben. I had asked Ruben. Ruben was the person who actually answered this question that I sent yesterday. So I would just like to say what Ruben said. It's quite a long thing. He just to kind of condense what he said that we know we are different in personality, but the same in one main goal, which is to save the planet. And then he talked about close-knit international family means to have same connection through a true commitment. To be tuned up is what we need to achieve anytime. We think we are supporting one another. So it's quite similar to what DTM Lee said. So over to you, Ruben, and please help us understand what the objectives of John's speech are. Thank you very much.
Great. Well, John has a very good commitment today to let us know him a little bit more. In his second path, mastery, he needs to introduce himself to the club, learn the basic structure of a public speech. This is what he needs to do today for his icebreaker in his mastery series.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Before I introduce the speaker, I wanted to ask the same question, and then I can introduce the speaker. John, what are your thoughts on World Family Day and our personal growth leaders family? Thank you very much.
As if before I start, yeah. I think family, because I come from a large family, so I'm quite used to having a lot of people around me, like all of you there. So I had that feeling of family when I come to a meeting. So it goes back into my past that I've been with a large family, and I'll tell you when I do my speak how large my family is. So I'm used to that large family. Yeah, but we're all family. It doesn't matter where we come from, where we're born. We bring everything to the table. Yeah, my brothers and some of my sisters are like chalk and cheese to me. We are completely different. I've got brothers that have never left the UK. Yeah, they've never left the UK. They're young, a lot younger than me, and they've never been out of the UK in their life. They've never met other societies in other places around the world, not even on holiday. If they go on holiday, they go to the UK, yeah, down to Cornwall. So I know that meeting everybody from across the world like we are doing now has changed me fundamentally in the way I think and everything like that. So I like this family, to be quite honest. Back to you.
Thank you so much, John. Excellently conveyed. With a speech entitled Me, please welcome John Khalid Brigden to the virtual stage.
I decided on me quite simply because I'm going to talk about me. All right. So I thought me. Now, certain things that are about me, the first is education. And I think Albert Einstein, the only source of knowledge is experience. So I've learned a lot of knowledge by experience, like traveling the world, meeting different people. That's how I've learned my knowledge, because my education suffered when I was younger. Fellow Toastmasters, I grew up in a family of 14. I've got 6 brothers and I've got 6 sisters and 5 other brothers. So there's 12 children plus my mum and dad. Yeah. Now you would call us what we call a military family, because my father was in the Air Force. So at an early age, we traveled. Every 2.5 to 3 years, we moved. We never stayed in the same place for 3 years. And we went across the world, across the UK. The amount of places I've been in the UK is unbelievable. Across the world, I've lived in Africa, I've lived in the Yemen, I lived in the Middle East. So I traveled at a young and early age and met different cultures as I traveled. The 2 points that define me is education suffered. Like I was living in the Yemen, a place called Aden. We went to school from 8 till 11:30. That's it. 2.5 years of going to school from 8 in the morning till 11:30. You couldn't go out after that anyway, because you'd burn yourself if you walked on the streets, on the tarmac. So you couldn't really go out them time. Usually you'd go to bed, have a siesta for about 3 or 4 hours and then get up in the sort of early evening. So my education suffered. It's like when I came back to the UK, I was so far behind. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And of course, when you get behind, it's self-prophesied, isn't it? It's harder. You've got to push yourself more. Yeah. Some people do it. I became a rebel. I admit I was a rebel. I used to go in every morning, get my mark from the teacher, and then climb out a window. And then I was off, because we were near, at that time I was living in Norfolk, just from the coast. I was down the coast on the beach. Then at about 3:30, I used to get back. So I used to come home from school to see my mum and dad. Right? So, as I say, I was a bit of a rebel. It wasn't just me, there was a couple of us that used to do it. And of course, most of the time, I used to be in the headmaster's study. And in those days, you had corporal punishment. And usually it was a cane on your backside. Yeah. But you can get around that. I used to stick a magazine down my backside. But the headmaster, he sussed that out. So then I used to get hit on my hands and on the palm of my hand. I tell you what, I wish it was my backside, because the palm of your hands is a lot harder. Yeah. So my education suffered. The other thing that I suffered with was I didn't make friends very quickly, because we was there 2.5, 3 years. What's the point of making friends? You're gone, you're never going to see them again. So that's what happened. I don't make friends very quickly. And when I do, yeah, I tend to try and keep them as close to me as possible. So it's difficult for me to make friends. So that's the two things that actually define me. And they carried on into my work life. Yeah, because at school, I became anti-authority. I found the teachers, I thought them a Stalin, you know what I mean? They were standing there barking orders at us all the time. And because I was behind, I used to get frustrated, used to take it out on the teachers. But then some of the teachers, I mean, I remember getting hit over the head with a triangle from the teacher, the one out of the blackboard, the big one, getting hit over the head. He broke it on my head. Rubbers thrown at me, chalk thrown at me. So it wasn't a very pleasant experience at school, to be quite honest. So this carried forward into my life. And I am slightly anti-authoritarian. If somebody becomes quite authority in front of me, quite like that, I will back off. I will back off quite a bit. Okay. So that's one of my problems that I have, anti-authority. And that's why in my work life, I was self-employed. 40 years of my life, I was self-employed. I owned my own businesses and I did it that way. So that I didn't have anybody actually telling me what to do in 40 years of my life. So my education, I met Fatima around 10, 11 years ago. And that's when I started to properly educate. I wasn't academic. You could give me a computer, I could strip it down, rebuild it, no problem. A car, I've stripped the car down, rebuilt it, no problem, because I'm hands-on. Problem is academically. So when I met Fatima, she's very academic, right? Since I've met her, I've had papers published. I've been and done my master's, my degree. I've also done an HND in certain things, and I'm now studying to do PG in teaching methodology. Yeah, so I'm going to start teaching English over here in Malaysia. So I'm actually doing that at the moment at a university. So I've come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. And I just want to say one thing to finish off, and this is from Aristotle. True knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. Back to you, Samesh.
Thank you very much, John Khalid, for a great speech. Icebreaker, fantastic one. We go to the second speech of the evening, which is by Fatima Afia from Strategic Relationships Level 5 High Performance Leadership Project.
It's IP, Innovative Planning.
Okay. The agenda is saying strategic relationships. Okay, thank you for confirming that it's innovative planning. And the evaluator for Fatima's speech is Kathy. So Kathy, just if you can answer those two questions as well in terms of the World Family Day and your thoughts on personal growth leaders family, and then you can then inform about what the purpose of Fatima's speech is. Thank you very much.
As far as the first question, I'm trying to remember the exact verbiage, but I think how our family relationships are completely affect how we look at the world. John had just mentioned that he was an Air Force child, and I was also a military child here, and we moved around so much. I feel like that is one of the challenges, and I'm the oldest of 3 children, very much a smaller family than his, but we moved around so much that it was hard for me, and I still think it is, making friends, because you knew you were going to be moving again. And a lot of times the other kids were all military families too. I think now with social media, it makes it easier for us to create connections, because look at us, we're all over the world this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and being able to talk to each other live. I mean, back in the day, we would have to send a letter because phone calls were ridiculously expensive. You were trying to call another country or even the other side of your own country. So we have so many more benefits now to be able to connect. As far as family and our club, you guys have been such a family to me. When I was competing in my first contest season, I live in a very small city in Wichita, Kansas, which is smack dab in the middle of Kansas, the biggest city in Kansas. But for those of you that have ever seen The Wizard of Oz, basically The Wizard of Oz is based, there's actually a yellow brick road not far from here, and even Little House on the Prairie, if any of you have ever seen that, the little house where they used to film that is here. It's a very small city. I go to area competition, and we have people from Africa, from Australia, from all over the world coming in to cheer me on at my little area competition in Kansas. You guys are amazing, and I love the fact that even though we're so far away from each other physically, we're able to connect in this way. And I love that the family that we're creating. And one of the things I love about Toastmasters is that first speech in every pathway, although I know sometimes people get tired of it if they're doing a lot of pathways. I get to learn about each and every one of you through table topics and through those icebreaker speeches and the other speeches that you present. That's one of the ways that we all get to know each other. So I love that. So we will get into the evaluation part and speaking part. So Fatima is doing a high performance leadership speech. This is the first of her speeches for this. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply their leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The purpose of the first speech is for the member to introduce her plan and vision for that speech. So with that, we will bring on Fatima.
Excuse me, may I know the timing? It's 5 to 7
Oh, I
minutes.
apologize. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech. I meant to tell you that.
Thank you.
5 to 7 minutes.
Before I introduce Fatima, again, the same question in terms of World Family Day, what are your thoughts? And the Personal Growth Leaders Family, what are your thoughts?
So, Mesh, it's already 9:25, so I have another meeting. So, if you don't mind, I will just
with a speech entitled Pathways Training, please welcome Fatima to the virtual stage.
Thank you. I will open. I'm gonna use my slides before I begin. Yeah. So let me share my screen before I begin. Good day to all of you here watching. My presentation is on pathways training. This is my high performance leadership, which is part of my innovative planning pathways. And this is my second speech for those who may have missed my first speech. Now, all of you would have know, those who are new, I'm the pathways chair in District 102. And it has been my responsibility to organize different trainings on pathways for District 102 members. And as you can see on the screen, I have, as part of HPL, high performance leadership, we are supposed to form a guidance committee. And on the screen, you see the 3 committee members that I have formed. John Khalid, who is the president of MIM Toastmasters Club, and in the middle, Anquan, he is the vice president of public relations, and on the right side of me is Adam Tan. He is a businessman. I choose these 3 because I felt that they can learn from me as well as I can help them to learn about HPL program, especially the pathways. Now, as though some of you may have completed a pathways HPL, it requires for you to develop a plan, come up with the vision, and then with the objectives. And for pathways, it was our objective that we will engage members in pathways and increase the enrollment. And for over 3,000 members, our statistics have shown that we have increased from 30% to 75%, which is, I believe, it's the results of our work. And the project I'm doing, we started from March to May. Now, as you can see on the screen, I have been responsible to run over 10 workshops. And how we did was we had Mandarin workshops, which is in Chinese, and then we also had English sessions. The purpose of these sessions were to target our new members who joined Toastmasters in our district, as well as those existing members who wanted to learn more advanced learning on pathways. And as you can see on the 3rd column, name of the event, we have run on desk camp training, on training for base camp managers. Base camp managers are the VPEs, the secretary, and the president. So basically, this has been working with different teams, and we had trainers, the Toastmasters, and the Zoom masters. When you talk about 10 workshops, you are actually working with the public relations person in charge, the manager. You're also working with the trainer. I can hear people talking.
Apa yang kau janji hari tu, tulis lagi satu kertas, tulis apa yang kau janji hari tu.
Can somebody mute? Thank you. So you are working with lots of team members. And then we also had additional workshops where we invited international speakers to come and run sessions. We had one Australian distinguished Toastmaster, Julie Doll. We had a workshop on how to get the most out of pathways. And then we had a distinguished DTM Auron Leon. He ran a workshop on pathways for professionals. He is one who has completed all the pathways. Now, the purpose of all these different variety of trainings was to help to glean more information, impart knowledge to our members. Now, another pathway training was open mic, and you can see the numbers. Why I'm putting on this slide is slides are for you to see the number of members, team members I have been working. And the last one we did was on 18 April, Pathways Virtual Fest. Again, the amount of large team members. Now, when I asked my members to fill the 360 form, I had lots of feedback, mostly very good comments. There weren't any bad comments, I would say, or recommendations. There were few, which was that for me to carry on with the continuity of the pathways training. And the one thing that came through was that we should have post-mortem workshop trainings that is for our team members to glean more information. I think basically why I got the positive feedback was that I ensured I met my team members continuously. I gave information and I made sure that I was there for my members. And as a leader, I gave space for my members. If a trainer is there, if the trainer comes to me asking for information, I would go to my district members, highest level, the trio. If they can't provide the information, I would find the information from other sources. So I basically, that has been the kind of two-way communication I have given to my team members. And being a BPE in my Malaysia club and the Pathways Chair, it has been challenging, but I tell you, it has been enjoyable learning for me. So ladies and gentlemen, contribute to learning to your Toastmasters community. Over to you, Shomas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Without further ado, let's go to the next part of the meeting, which is the table topics. Over to you, Marudesh, for a great set of table topics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Somesh. Let I answer for the two questions. One is International Family Day and personal growth leadership, how it helps. Hello, audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, really, I agree that family helps people to create a better world, because when the children's when they take birth, no one's don't know anything. How we share our thought, how we give support to them, like that they will grow up. If we guide in a right manner, in a right age, definitely the childrens go to good career. They'll choose some doctor, engineer, they like that they will grown up, and they become an asset to the every nations. But if you didn't encourage them, if we didn't share a good thought to them, if we didn't guide in a right age, they'll spoil their careers. Like that, they will become a liabilities to the nations. Like that, always we want to have a good, always parents play very important role in creating a good, better world and better environment. Our club is giving every week, every members to take a role and encouraging in their speeches. Like this, developing personality not only as every members. We are exchanging our thought. Like this, our club is really doing a good job in developing a good environment in our club. Now, coming to the table topic. Table topic helps member practice the art of improvisation and also helps us think on our feet. This helps us develop for vital communication skills, listening skills, thinking, organization, and developing. The topic that I have prepared for you will hopefully help all of us become a better improvisation. Since we are at Toastmaster, try and provide a speaking opportunity to maximum audience and members. This session is not restricted to the member alone, even the guest can participate. I hope everyone gives this a shot. I randomly call anyone to participate, or you can voluntarily to come up on the stage yourself by raising your hand. Okay, let's begin. My first question is for Toastmaster Madhu. One second, I'll share the screen. Your question is, what are some of your fondest memories of childhood? Again, I will repeat. What are some of your fondest memories of childhood? Over to Toastmaster Madhu.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Martesh, for giving such a nice topic. Good day, all the Toastmasters. My fondest memory in the childhood days, there are many. In that, one is very favorable to me that still I can remember that I found out myself as a good singer. I mean, that skill, it was there with me without knowing myself. There was a opportunity, unfortunately, in the school days. Just we went to trip. In that time, there were some competitions like Damshal Hearts or singing. That time I had sung the song, and many people praised my singing. Then I realized, yes, there is a skill with me that I can showcase in front of the people. Like that, there are many memories, even though I couldn't get the high score, I mean merit in the school, in the preparatory exams, but in the public, the final exams, I got the result. I was the second topper. That was the one more good memory. And most heart touching, that one, just I went to watch the swimmings. That time, unfortunately, I fell into the open well, and I came out. By that time, I got over out of that fear of the water. And then I started learning the swimming. I became a good swimmer. Like that, there are many fondable memories from the childhood days. There are many things are coming in my mind. So thanks for giving that opportunity. What do you, Toastmaster Martesh?
Thank you, Madhu. Really, you have answered very well. I also remembered my childhood days. My next question is for Luciana. Your question is, describe the perfect family. Again, I will repeat. Describe the perfect family. Go to Luciana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Barutesh. Describe the perfect family. Well, for me, I think perfection comes from imperfection. Well, I remember when I first do my speech, it was imperfect. And as I do it more, then I got to perfection, or even not the true perfection. So perfect family for me is like having, probably for now, I think that giving good education for my children and then harmonize, live in harmony. But then again, I think one thing that for me, my perfection, possibly I want my children to be a doctor, or for example, but then again, I think it's up to them what they like to do. For example, my son wanted to be a pilot, so let him be whatever. And then like my second child, she likes to do some stitches, cross stitches, and then, but my husband and myself want her to do some accounting and business. But then again, they might rebel because they don't like it. So perfection is from imperfection, but then again, I think perfect for me may not be perfect for them. So I think perfection, definition of perfection itself, it's up to individual. And to me, perfection comes from imperfection, and all we can do is just improve so that we reach at least near perfection. Thank you. Back to you, Maritesh.
Okay, what do you want from Starbucks?
Yeah.
Coffee.
Very well answered.
Activity.
My next question is for Kathy.
Okay. Describe the perfect family?
No. What do you do in your free time? Again, I will repeat. What do you do in your free time? Over to Kathy.
What do I do during my free time? I actually am a gardener. I love to garden. I am growing several kinds of herbs. I've got chocolate mint and basil. I'm actually growing some purple basil. I have got parsley and oregano. I don't actually cook that much with the herbs that I grow. I just like them because they smell good. I also love to study. I have, over the last year, gotten certified as a life coach, but I also have some additional certifications that I want to work on. I haven't gotten started yet on neuro-linguistic programming and cognitive behavioral therapy. My goal is to become a motivational speaker, and I'm hoping to use many of these things that I'm learning to involve those in my future speeches. So that is what I do. I'm constantly reading and learning, and that is what I do during my free time. Thank you.
Yeah, very well answered. My next question is for Shabaria Musa. Your question is,
I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Yeah.
What would you remember about your childhood? Again, I will repeat. What would you remember about your childhood? Over to Shabaria.
Thank you, Tabletop Master. What do I remember about my childhood? I remember I have a wonderful childhood. I really remember my very patient father and my very strong mother. Because we come from a middle-aged family, and my mom and dad have to work hard to support all 10 of us. There are 6 girls and 4 boys. And I remember that close-knitted family. We shared everything, and there are 10 of us, but we share food. We sit all at the table together because we believe family must be together. So we share lunch, dinner together. We eat together. We play together, and we organize games. My elder brothers will always organize tournament and then uses my father's second hand, which means that he won trophies from his badminton, and he uses that trophy for us when we do running or high jump and things like that. So I remember these are all fond memories of my childhood, and I treasure it so much that now we all grown up and we believe that we are all close together and we keep in touch, and especially during this festival, we're still in touch even though we can't be together. We are on the Zoom, we're on the, Google Meet, and we talk. And all of us talk about our childhood and all of us talk about our future. And I believe that is what family is all about. And all of us, I believe, all have fond memories of our childhood. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Yeah, very well answered. Due to less time, I'll stop this session here, and I hope everyone enjoyed this session, and I'll hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the day, Somesh. Over to you, Somesh.
Thank you very much, Marutesh. Great set of topics. Caused a little bit of benevolence in us as well in terms of thinking about those topics. Thank you so much. Over to the third part of the meeting, which is the evaluations. And for conducting that session, I would like to hand over the virtual stage to General Evaluator of this meeting today, Anvita Hegde. Huge round of applause.
Thank you, Somesh. I would like to call our Evaluator 1, Ruben, to give his report.
Well, John, good to get to know about you. I'm astonished with your story. 12 children in a family is something very good in number and also in living itself. Well, you told us about it. It was a good story. It was well structured chronologically. You had a great eye contact. You were looking at the camera the most of the time. You were not looking at us directly, which was good. Your voice projection is great. How you handle the tones of your voice to create some suspense a little bit in some parts of your story. You're closing with a quote. Interesting. But I think you may work on your beginning to have a more impact beginning, saying something impacting about that. I think it was great, but it could have been better to me, to my observation. And something that I challenge you at is no distractions at all. Make sure that your phone do not ring. All in all, it was a great speech. Congratulations. You are a great speaker, John. Evaluator.
Thank you, Ruben. Please give him a big round of applause, and also to our speaker, John. So my role as a general evaluator is to evaluate the evaluator. I'll do just that. So I like Ruben's opening where he commented on the number of children, that is family of John, by telling that they were 12 children. And he also added humor by telling that it is good in number and also in living. He went on to comment about eye contact, structure, vocal variation, and to challenge himself, he told about the phone. I think he had done overall detailed observation. Maybe I think that if time permits, maybe you could have also mentioned about the word usage, because I think John's speech had some brilliant word usage, such as source of knowledge was experience, source of knowledge, experience, and education suffered, military family, barking orders. So maybe that could have been mentioned if time permits, is my opinion. Next, I would like to call our evaluator 2, Kathy, to provide her report.
Thank you, Anvita. Fatima, as usual, an excellent project. Your Pathways education screen. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I highlighted the wrong screen. It was a well-organized speech. You did an excellent job on eye contact on this one. I found your vocal clarity awesome. I'm one of those people who's always looking for more vocal variety. I think it's very rare for anybody to have too much vocal variety. but you did, as I mentioned earlier, you did great on eye contact. You didn't have a lot of gestures, but this was a speech that I don't really think needed as many gestures because it was more of an informative speech rather than a persuasive speech. Excellent on your comfort level. It was a very interesting speech. I'm actually fascinated by high performance leadership projects. I thought you did a great giving us information on your project. Your pathway screen, some of the things you could work on. On your pathway screen, when you're leading into that, there were several of your screens that had quite a bit of information on them. When you're doing that, usually it's good to have less information for your audience. They automatically want to try to read everything on your screen. When you're leading in and pulling up a screen that has a lot of information on it, it might be better to let them know, here's an example as you're leading into it. So they're not, I think as humans, we want to automatically try to read everything on the screen. So as you're leading into screens that have a great deal of information, you might let the audience know that so they're not automatically wanting to jump in and try to read everything. It's just, because I believe that the information on those slides was relevant to the speech. So I'm not saying take those out, but just when you lead into those very informative pages, let the viewer know that they're, kind of prepare them that they don't need to read the whole thing, but have an idea, because it is a very information rich project. You mentioned at the end of your speech about the challenges and rewards. It might be nice at the end just to close the speech to kind of let us know what the highlights of those, because the speech covered the challenges, but kind of maybe highlight what those challenges were and rewards were to you. I really enjoyed this performance leadership project because I feel like Pathways is such an important part of our education in Toastmasters. This benevolent project encourages us not only in the growth of the individual, but also, as you know, for club growth and also for those club performance points that we so greatly need. I really enjoyed your speech and I look forward to your next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kathy. Please give her a big round of applause, and also to the speaker, Fatima. Kathy covered almost all aspects in her evaluation. She spoke about vocal variation, the structure, and also the suggestions. What I like about the suggestions is that, Kathy, you explained it in a very detailed manner about how more information in the PPT makes it less visible and memorable for the audience. You explained it in detail. That's what I liked about it. So overall, I liked your evaluation because you summarized everything and you continued motivating the speaker. A job well done. So let me move on to the evaluation of the meeting. Coming to our Toastmaster of the day, Somesh. I liked how you welcomed everyone to the meeting. You also stated the meeting number, and regarding the theme, till you set it as Family Day, I didn't even know that today is Family Day. So it was a well-selected theme. I liked how you brought out the importance of family by talking about a dysfunctional family and how it affects the kids. You also gave a relevant example about a group of teenagers taunting a lady, and you mentioned that those teenagers came from a dysfunctional family. So this clearly highlighted the importance of family. I just have one suggestion to you. I felt that maybe you could have managed time better because you had 2 questions for each and every role taker, and it consumed a lot of time because I just had 10 minutes for the general evaluation section and I just had to rush through my evaluation of evaluators. So maybe next time if you want to ask questions, you can either have one question or you can instruct the role players to just answer in a simple sentence because it is a 1-hour meeting and we should complete it within time. Moving on to the table topic session by Toastmaster Marutesh. I loved your vibrant PPT and all the questions in there were related to family. It was related to the theme. People could easily answer it. You also had wonderful fillers after each and every topic where you commented about family. It was a job well done. I just have one suggestion for you. Maybe you could give chance or give topics to the non-role takers first before moving on to the role takers, so that even if time is constrained, we can just proceed. Because I could see that DTM Kaushal is here, so maybe he could have been given a topic rather than giving the topic to the role taker, because our goal is to encourage all the members to speak out. Having said that, now I would like to call our timer, Maria, to give the timing report.
Thank you, G. The meeting started a minute late today. Speaker 1 took 7 minutes. Speaker 2 took 7 minutes 22 seconds. Coming to table topics. Speaker 1 Madhu took 2 minutes 11 seconds. Speaker 2 Rosiana 1 minute 55 seconds. Speaker 3 Kathy 1 minute 8 seconds. And Speaker 4 Sabria 1 minute 42 seconds. Evaluator 1 took 2 minutes. Evaluator 2 took 3 minutes 12 seconds. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for your detailed report, Maria. Now I would like to call upon our counter, Toastmaster Satya, to give out his report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anvita. I wanted to be benevolent today because I thought as a PGL member, we would not have many people bringing in the ahs, oohs, arms and other things. But still, barring 2 or 3 people, others have done extremely well. But let me mention 2 or 3 who are the ones who were using repetition, like DTM Somesh used so important repetition, and twice. I thought more than once anybody talking about these kind of during the speech, bringing in these kind of whatever I should mention. Secondly, John Khalid, he used yeah 5 times. That was very stylish. I appreciate that, but it was somewhat an interruption during speech making. Thirdly, Madhu said twice. Barring these speakers, all others have done exceedingly well. Congratulations to all of you, including these speakers. Over to General Evaluator.
Toastmaster Satya, please give a big round of applause. I think we are all good in not using us. And I especially like that sprinkle of humor which you added by telling that John used a stylishly. I agree with you, it is stylish, yes. I would like to call upon our grammarian, Lee, to give her report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. My role as the grammarian is to take note of the use of the word of the day, as well as grammatical mistakes and nice expressions. As mentioned, it was only Toastmaster Somesh will use the word until a few minutes just before we ended, when Kathy, Rosiana, John Khalid or Fatima, and Satya used the word of the day. Congratulations, everyone. Next, just some expressions. Again, this is not meant to pick on members or guests, but just to help you improve your vocabulary as well as expressions. Someone said being VPE in my Malaysia club. A better way of saying is being the VPE in my Malaysian club. I heard I randomly call. A better way is I'll randomly call. There was someone who mentioned children's. Children is a plural, so that's not children's. It's a child or children. So just be wary of the S's. In terms of the table topics, what I would like to suggest is for those who are table topics master to have questions or topics no more than 6 words. It's a good way of doing it. When your question becomes too long, it tends to lose the meaning, or as the table topic speaker read the topics or read the questions, then they tend to lose the meaning of it. So this is just some suggestions, some nice expressions. This was what Ruben said to Somesh. So he recorded Ruben that although we are different in personality, but we have one goal in mind: save the planet, military children, perfection comes from imperfection. And I loved how Kathy said, I found your vocal clarity awesome. A lot of people say vocal variety, but she said vocal clarity. So I thought that was a very nice way of putting it. The other thing is to look for rhetorical devices: anaphora, mesodiplosis, apostrophe, simplose. So what it means is repetition at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, or all together. So congratulations to Somesh. And I wasn't sure whether it was John Khalid or Fatima because he was in the chat. So I'll give credit to both of them. In terms of quotation, John Khalid mentioned 2 quotes. In terms of metaphor, he also said he found the teachers as like Stalin in a way. And I also looked out for the other rhetorical devices, which I didn't find, but I just thought I'll show you just to help you to try and perhaps use more rhetorical devices in your future speeches or in your expressions as well. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lee, for your comprehensive evaluation, rhetoric devices, metaphors, even the chat. You have noted it, everything, and even you had the references. A job excellently done, Lee. Another big round of applause for you. Now I would like to hand it back to our TMOD and President, Somesh.
Thank you very much, Amrita, for quickly finishing the general evaluator. I need to apologize if this was something, the idea initially was to get the details quickly and summarize it before introducing the speakers. So I got the reply from one person. So thank you all for the meeting today, and let's continue our journey every week. So Anvita, you want to look at the roles for the next week?
Yeah, I'll share my screen, Somesh. It is visible, right? Yeah. So we have the general evaluator, 2 evaluators. Anybody wants to be general evaluator?
I can volunteer if you want. Okay, Kaushal, let Kaushal go for it.
Kaushal, right?
Thank you.
Ambita, I'll take the evaluator, one of the evaluation.
Okay, I'll put you as my evaluator, Rosie.
All right, thank you. Great.
Okay, second evaluator for Arthur, we need an evaluator. Anyone?
I can take it if you want.
Okay, thank you so much. Our counter, grammarian, and timer. Anyone?
Can be the timer.
Okay, thank you, Satya, sir.
Satya, my hand clicked the unmute too late.
Yeah, so table topic master, grammarian, and our counter. Anyone wants to be table topic
master? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a sixth sense that you're going to take it up. Our counter, grammarian, and Toastmaster.
I'll take our counter.
Our counter. Okay, thank you, Mark. You take grammarian, is it, Sabaria?
Okay, because I did Toastmasters of the day.
Oh,
3 weeks
Toastmaster.
ago, I think.
Okay, great. I'll put your name to that. Yeah. So we have grammarian role open. Anyone wants to be grammarian? Madhu, Maria, or anyone else?
Anvita, I'll message you. Because I need to check. I'll check and I'll message you.
Okay, sure, Maria. Okay.